Right now on Denver 7 News at 7 a.m. on Local 3, Hurricane Ian is teetering on a Category 5 storm, taking aim at Florida. We have team coverage ahead of landfall today.
Also, we have a sad update to a missing Colorado woman who fell from one of the tallest mountains in the world. What's next now that search teams have found Hillary Nelson?
A scary afternoon with a good outcome. What we now know about the pipe bomb left outside a Littleton grocery store.
Of course, right now, millions of people in Florida are under evacuation orders as Hurricane Ian marches toward landfall on the state's west coast. Anywhere from 18 to 20 inches of rain are expected. The winds could be damaging too. 155 miles an hour. That is 2 miles an hour away from a Cat 5 storm. The hurricane's path shifted slightly south overnight. It's expected to hit the state as a Category 4 this afternoon. This is a look from the Skyway Bridge, St. Petersburg, the bridge that goes over to the Sarasota area. Obviously, no one on the road because they are all indoors or trying to get away from the storm's path.
All right, we'll start our team coverage now with ABC's Justin Finch in Tampa.
Good morning. The effects of Hurricane Ian being seen and felt this morning. Much of the state of Florida now under some kind of hurricane or tropical storm watch. Hurricane Ian delivering its first blow to Florida, even before it's expected to make a direct hit as a major hurricane. When time was still on their sides, families hit the roads, making 11th hour escapes.
We have about 2.5 million Floridians that are currently under some type of an evacuation order.
Heavy traffic on Florida highways, the storm's fluid forecast track and timing forcing residents to flee fast. St. Petersburg's mayor warning those staying behind.
After a certain time when tropical force winds are here, we will not be sending out first responders.
Ian is now forecast to make landfall later today along Florida's Gulf Coast in the Fort Myers area, bringing life-threatening conditions, including several feet of storm surge from Naples to Tampa and huge amounts of rain, perhaps more than 20 inches in some areas. The storm's late change in track sending residents now in Ian's bullseye scrambling to prepare.
Did you feel like you were in the clear yesterday and now you're right in the path?
And today, I better go get it before it's too late.
Florida now bracing for millions of power outages. 30,000 workers are on standby to restore electricity after the storm. And FEMA says it's stockpiling 3.7 million meals and 3.5 million liters of water in neighboring Alabama.
This is going to impact everyone in different ways.
Outer bands from Ian are already being felt. Heavy wind and rain in Key West. A possible tornado west of Miami. And after barreling across Cuba like a buzzsaw, nothing in Ian's path now except warm water and Florida. As Hurricane Ian moves in and people head out, Orlando International announcing they will shut down operations this morning. Justin Finch, ABC News, Tampa.
Yeah, even the inland areas around Orlando feeling the impacts here and bracing for this. There are reports of damaging winds from the outer bands of the hurricane already.
The footprint here is just huge. 2 people were hospitalized in Delray Beach. That's the other side of the state from where Justin was on the Atlantic side. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford has been following some of the updates from our newsroom this morning, and we just got an important one on storm surge.
Yeah, that's right. So the storm surge very high in some areas like Sanibel Island. They're definitely keeping an eye on that storm surge. They are right there on the coast in Southwest Florida, just watching as this hurricane approaches. So first responders there, they can't respond to calls for help because they've also been evacuated. One of those major fears is that there's just going to be so much flooding that it will just be so unsafe. And Sanibel is just one of the many parts of Florida that is bracing for the onslaught of that flooding. Here's video from Northport, and you can see on this video right here that there is just the different spots of the peak storm surge forecast. So you can see that the higher you get up there in Florida, the less of the storm surge they're going to see. But really down there, especially in Key West, you're seeing up to 6 feet in storm surge. And there are chances it can be higher in some places. We're seeing 4 to 7 feet being a possibility, 7 to 11 feet. And as you're approaching the Bonita Beach area, you're seeing 12 to 16 feet possibly of storm surge. That is a lot of water, definitely going to be devastating for a lot of homes, a lot of businesses, and a lot of the people who own them. So moving on now, here's some video from Larissa Scott at WUFT News. We're taking a look at Tampa Bay right now in a way that you may not have seen it before, which is dry. Hurricane Ian is so strong that it is pulling water from Tampa Bay shores. So this is something that happened also back in 2017 with Hurricane Irma. So we've seen the possible rain impact. Now it's time to look at the damage there. So we're seeing that an apartment really it just looks like the roof just ripped off. You can see people's belongings there inside. Also, you can see cars just damaged and the water really just building up in the middle right there. And so right now at this time, this is something that Florida has been preparing for with lots of shelters. Governor Ron DeSantis tweeting out 176 shelters have been opened. They also have 5,000 Florida guardsmen that are ready to respond. One of the big issues here that a lot of people really don't know about is really just how heavy water is. So in Florida, there is a really huge chance right now of erosion and also a chance of that water just being so heavy on their infrastructure that their roads even break down. So there is a huge warning out to all the Floridians right now. Just a bit of caution about the fact that you can drive on a road that may look stable and it could lead to a sinkhole.
I mean, so many problems associated with a storm of this side, and one of the only natural disasters that you get this much advance warning days ahead of time. But once we get to this point, there's not much else to do but hunker down and hope for the best. All right, thank you, Jessica. Meanwhile, Coloradans are standing by to help in Florida. Kim Males is one of 8 volunteers headed into harm's way right now to set up for the Red Cross.
There's a lot of adrenaline, like, hey, we're here to do a job. Let's get this thing set up. Then we'll hunker down and survive, and then we'll be ready to emerge immediately after the disaster.
So if you would like to help out, you can make a donation at redcross.org. We do have a sad update for you this morning and a tragic ending to the search for a missing famed U.S. skier from Colorado, Hillary Nelson, who lived in Telluride. Authorities in Nepal say they have recovered her body after a days-long search. They had been looking for her since earlier this week when she disappeared after falling into a crevasse on the world's 8th tallest mountain. She was hiking with her partner Jim Morrison when the accident happened. She was 49 years old. She had 2 children. Her body is being taken to Kathmandu for an autopsy. So we will continue to follow this story as it develops.
Well, so often when we hear about a suspicious device, it turns out to be nothing at all. That was not the case this time when a pipe bomb was found behind a Littleton Safeway. Denver 7's Veronica Costa is live there at that Safeway off Mineral. What happened, Veronica, and how did everyone get out of that okay?
So first off, this all happened right after noon on a Tuesday. There were people inside of the Safeway grocery store here behind me, and this area really is surrounded by other smaller shops. So you can only imagine how many people were inside of those and how much of a scary situation it was when they started seeing law enforcement officers getting here, even that bomb squad. Now this morning, as you can tell, it is a lot quieter than it was yesterday afternoon. But listen to what a local business owner told us when she saw all of those enforcement officers start showing up.
In my mind, I kept going back and forth thinking, okay, so all of these people are here, the bomb squad, everybody's here, but yet I'm still allowed to stand right here next to this tape. So it was kind of one of those things going back and forth in my brain, like what is actually going on? So.
And the pipe bomb was discovered by someone who was just on site doing their job. They were doing an inspection behind the Safeway grocery store. The good news is the Littleton Police Department, alongside the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office bomb squad, they were able to disable that pipe bomb. Though a law enforcement source did tell ABC News this pipe bomb was, quote, a lot more sophisticated than we typically see. And because the bomb squad was able to disable that pipe bomb, we know Littleton's crime lab ended up taking it with them. They're going to look at it, make sure that they see all of the evidence there as they try to find the suspect who not only created this, but also dropped this off right behind the actual grocery store here. Anyone out there with information on who that could have been, they're being asked to go ahead and email Littleton Police. You can do that at policetips@littletonpolicegov.org. In Littleton, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
It's now 7:10, and you can see from there at Veronica's live shot, we've got a lot of sunshine to deal with this morning. It'll be a bright eastbound drive, low to mid 50s right now. Beautiful start to our day as kids are getting ready to walk out the door here in the next 15 to 20 minutes. We're in those 50s with sunshine. We'll be in the low 80s by the time they get home today. So it is going to be a little warmer and also drier today. We saw a few showers along the Palmer Divide and up and through the foothills yesterday. Today are going to find more sunshine, 60s and 70s in the high country. Estes Park today 70, Boulder a toasty 82, and low to mid 80s here in Denver. Now coming up, the mountains will pick up a better chance of storms tomorrow, and it's going to get cooler here in town this weekend. We'll take a closer look at your Super 7 Day coming up.
And right now we still have some issues with the rail system on the E line, the H line, and the R line, where they're on this 30-minute frequency. We have some ongoing service repairs near I-25, Yale, Hamden, and we also still have the bus shuttle in place because of that earlier derailment that we had on the R line. We still have some delays out on I-70, Highway 36. They are just about to clear this crash. Take a look from the camera there, and you can see that all lanes are now finally open. There's still some activity on the right shoulder, but all 3 lanes are open, and the traffic backup is now all the way back to about Sheridan, but it will start to get better. We've had late construction that's just wrapping up right now on I-70. We still have big delays from Ridgegate to a crash at C-470 for you here this morning, so that's a 25-minute delay. And then take a look down in Plantation, Florida, where you have still the hurricane moving through there. It is you can see this rain just blowing through here right now. Nobody's on the roads right now.
Yeah, well, if the wait time at your Chipotle is too long, the chips and guac may be to blame. The new robotic solution that could get you your order faster.
And we know much of Florida is bracing for Hurricane Ian's impact as we take a look at the coast this morning. And the heavy winds picking up along the beach there. The efforts underway to make sure people have power restored as quickly as possible after the storm passes.